All right. What is up, my pretty baby? It's just the one and only the Black Avenger, aka the Black Azrael Lee Sanders. You're checking out an all new the RCWR show coming at you at a couple of different platforms at the same time, live right now for this Sunday night of May 17th, 2015, as we're talking WWE Payback Fallout as it came to us from Baltimore, Maryland. I want to hear from you guys. Now, as always, those of you that might be looking for actual WWE Payback footage, you might have better luck signing up for the WWE Network. If you have not done so already, it is free for the remainder of this month. You get a great advantage of checking out that event, some other new programming that's on the network right now. I know that also includes a little bit of a sneak peek into Jerry King's new DVD that's going to be dropping this Tuesday everywhere. We will be reviewing that on a future episode of the RCWR show. You might be able to find a little bit of Payback highlights on WWE Fan Nation on YouTube, or you can head on over to WWE's website for photos, videos, exclusives, the works. Post those comments down below. I want to hear from you guys. You can also hit me up on Twitter for the next little bit at the RCWR show. Hit us up also on our Facebook page. Do like our Facebook page if you have not done so already. Infinity One Productions. Put in the E, spell out one, Infinity One Productions. We are live right now on YouTube, and we are also live on Spreaker.com. So special shout out to our Spreaker audience. We love you guys. I don't care how you're going to be checking this out, whether it's live on YouTube or live on Spreaker. We appreciate you guys that's taking the time out to check us out tonight. Without any further ado, let's jump right into it real quickly. We're going to bring the phone line back tonight. I know that's a question that has been asked by a couple of people. Now, I'm not sure how many of you want to take advantage of that. At this point, you want to kick back and just enjoy the show. That's your right, but I'm letting you know, those of you that would love to go live and you want to talk with me and you want to share your input as far as how you maybe liked or disliked tonight's pay-per-view, you'll be able to call in later part of the show, so stick around. We'll put that number out there in a little bit. All right, so let's go ahead and let's jump right into it. All right, so Payback, Baltimore, Maryland. Baltimore is like the place to be right now. No, don't get me wrong. I know we had the whole riot thing go down a couple of weeks ago, and I mean, everybody and their damn mama was out there stealing shit and making cars explode and breaking in the stores and all kinds of other stuff. Yeah. I know it was a bit crazy a couple of weeks ago, but I mean, come on. Give Baltimore, Maryland a little bit of props. Yeah, you know, I kind of got to represent. I mean, we are over here in the DMV area, so we kind of got to represent a little bit. And look, we had Prince come over here last week. He had a concert where part of the proceeds or part of the profits that was made off of that event, it went towards youth programs. I'm sure a little bit of a small percentage of it also went to rebuilding the city, in particular, that was just devastated by those riots. So you follow up the Prince event in Baltimore, Charm City, as they like to call it, with WWE coming through for Payback. What is this? The third Payback that we're getting right now. And I got to say, off the break, overall, it was an enjoyable pay-per-view. For the most part, there was a couple of areas that was kind of head-scratching. We'll talk about that. Let's jump into it. So we had the kickoff special. And for that one, you know, was I the only one that was a little bit annoyed with Booker T's interactions with the panel? I mean, the past few the past few pay-per-view kickoff specials, yeah, that's the word I was looking for. It just really kind of seems like Booker T is coming off a bit distant, kind of like maybe he doesn't really want to be there. I mean, just picture the panel in your mind. I know some of you guys don't care about the kickoff and all that, but honestly, the kickoff, it's been rubbing on me. I love it. Sometimes I kind of feel as though an hour is a bit too much. I kind of wish that sometimes they would just kind of do a 30-minute thing and kind of stretch those 1 hour events where it counts the most. But I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to get as many eyes on the network as possible. So that's probably why they're constantly coming at us with an hour. But Booker T, as of late on these kickoffs, he seemed a little bit off. Just picture that for those of you that watch it, you kind of know what I'm talking about. I mean, you got Renee Young, then you got Booker T, and like Booker T, he should be kind of like the way the table is set up. He should be kind of sitting at her, but still kind of neutral because he's got to show love to Corey Graves and Byron Saxton. But it just kind of seems like he gives Renee Young the ice cold shoulder, like, I want to turn this way because I don't want to look at you. And if I can help myself, I don't want to smell your perfume. I just can't stand the sight of you. Leave me be. I'm just going to focus over here. That's, just imagine if you're watching at home and Booker T, especially when they zoom in, he's just like that talking to those guys and not exactly looking at the camera, trying to make that eye connection with you, the people that's watching at home. A little bit annoyed by the way he's acting. I don't know what's going on. Some of you all noticed his performance tonight. Some of you all were kind of under the impression he was either a little bit tipsy or he was just like dying of boredom. He didn't really want to be there. Here's another thought for you. Maybe he just didn't want to be there with the riots and all. You never know. Maybe he was a little bit not at ease, if you will. Maybe he was a little bit restless. Who knows? Speculation, but one thing's for certain is body language. It's been off the past few kickoff events. Definitely this one, very visible. Hopefully he can shake that off. Now, those of you longtime Booker T fans, please don't get it twisted. I'm not throwing Booker T under the bus. All I'm saying is I have a little bit of concern about the way his body language, gestures, eye contact. I just have an issue with that. I'm not bashing him and his commentating. I just want him to kind of loosen up, really get into the moment like the rest of his co-hosts are when they're doing this whole panel thing. Sound off. Let me know what you guys think with regards to that. But other than that little nuisance, that was kind of like, what the hell? Kickoff, we had R-Truth defeat Stardust. And wow, I put a tweet out there, a couple of tweets, and thanks to those of you who was taking the time to interact with me earlier tonight during the event. But what a way to officially kick off the Payback event. All right, because, and this is before the pay-per-view, again, this is on kickoff, but still, when you kind of look at it overall, if you can access it for free, you know what? Pretty much everybody can see it, because I mean, the kickoff, it's on YouTube, it's on Pinterest, it's all over the freaking place. Vimeo, it's all over the place. So I thought it was a little bit of, what's the right words I'm looking for? Irony, poetic justice, whatever you want to call it. Karma, I don't know. I just thought it was a little bit messed up that kickoff begins with a black man coming out, chucking and jabbing and singing his little song to the ring. Yeah, I'm talking about R-Truth. I'm like, wow. So we hadn't seen him do all that stuff in a while. I almost half forgot about that whole thing. And here he was coming out, and I'm saying to myself, Lord have mercy. Baltimore, Charm City. Baltimore is dominated by mostly black people. And here you have a black man coming out trying to get them all worked up. I'm like, this is, was this a race relations match? I asked that question because to have R-Truth get a rare victory, some people looking at this and they're going, he's probably getting this victory because maybe he's going to be involved in the Elimination Chamber match for the Intercontinental Championship. Oh yeah, they dropped a nice little bomb on us tonight. In less than 2 weeks, exclusively on the WWE Network, it will be the Elimination Chamber events only on the WWE Network, mind you. And it looks like there is going to be definitely a new Intercontinental Champion crowned. As you all know, Daniel Bryan, he vacated the title earlier in the week. So I would think that with R-Truth picking up the win over Stardust, that maybe R-Truth is going to get in there. That's the only thing that makes sense to me as far as him picking up a rare W, because other than that, I mean, if we're going to do a 1-2 punch, I mean, look, you got a black man coming out, getting the Baltimore crowd pumped up, and then you have the black man win. I mean, now when I kind of look back in retrospect, the black people did win tonight, didn't they? Wow, just think about that for a minute. Marinate on that for a few ticks, especially those of you that did not see tonight's pay-per-view event. The black people, they overcame tonight. Interesting, considering some of the areas of great conversation that we had with former WWE superstar JTG of Crime Time. Yeah, we actually talked to him over the weekend. We were talking about his new book, Damn, Why Did I Write This Book? That's actually the name of it. You'll be able to hear that interview this Tuesday night, live, 10 p.m. Eastern on Spreaker.com. So make sure you represent. All the links you need is in the episode description. Also, we had got a huge piece of news right before we went into the actual Payback event. We found out that good old Stone Cold Steve Austin will be returning to the WWE Network with the Stone Cold Live podcast. And his guest this go round is going to be none other than Paul Heyman. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman. Nobody does it better than him. I apologize for that poor interpretation of Mr. Heyman. I'm ecstatic. June 1st, it's going to be going down Monday night after Raw goes off the air, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just jump ahead and look at the calendar real quick. Yep, that's going to be Monday night, June 1st. I can let you guys know right now, we are not going to be live covering WWE Raw Fallout on YouTube, but we will do a live review of the Stone Cold podcast with Paul Heyman. And then to make up for the Raw talk, we'll cover it briefly on our Tuesday night podcast for that week. But make sure you mark that down so you don't forget. Monday night, June 1st, no RCWR show due to the Stone Cold podcast with Paul Heyman, but you'll still be able to come on YouTube and check out the live review for that Stone Cold podcast. I think it's awesome. I think the timing is really good, and honestly, I know this is probably going to have a lot of people talking. A lot of people are probably going to be under the impression that maybe things just did not go right with Chris Jericho as far as his interview went with Stephanie McMahon, and maybe they're trying to take a step back and figure out what needs to change with Jericho's show. I mean, I definitely feel it's going to have a lot of people talking, but I tell you this much. The WWE, they are listening. We need to give them credit where credit is due. I know not just only our show, many of my colleagues definitely were like, Jericho was okay, but man, Stone Cold Steve Austin, what the hell? Bring more of him back. And a lot of people just, with what Jericho did with John Cena, that was fine. But with what happened with Stephanie, it was kind of like, what the hell is going on? It's really great to see that WWE and Stone Cold Steve Austin, whatever type of possible differences there may have been, of which Steve Austin said there wasn't any. The only type of minor drama that was going on between Steve Austin and the WWE, it actually had to do with his shop over at Pro Wrestling Tees concerning some merchandise that I would think is pretty similar to what WWE has been marketing for him. And obviously they worked out those minor details. And not to also mention, I know a lot of people want to maybe speculate on what's going on with Jericho and his podcast and all that. Let's just really call the truth for what it's worth. Jericho at this point, he is, I think as we speak, he's back with the WWE as far as in-ring competition goes. He's going to be doing house show events for the next little bit. And that's going to keep him very, very preoccupied, to the point, I would think, that as far as doing another Jericho podcast special or Live with Jericho special on the network, you can forget about that. That's probably not going to happen for quite a long time. And I mean, he's already booked as it is with other projects that he's embarked in and all that. So honestly, I'm happy that Stone Cold is going to be returning. I don't know about you guys, but I'm ecstatic that he's going to be returning to the WWE Network. And, we keep getting teased with Shane McMahon. I saw some recent polls that came out. There was also a survey asking folks what type of DVDs would they like to see of the following. Shane McMahon was mentioned, so kind of makes you wonder if these are nice little subtle touches as far as trying to reintroduce Shane to the WWE universe. Time will tell, but should be awesome to see what's going to be going down with that. Let's continue on. We had our other, I guess this was our other kickoff match. We had the Mega Powers, Damian Sandow, and Curtis Axel Mania. They lost to the Ascension. They pulled in a better performance, and I was paying very close attention to them, especially considering we had talked about this on our inaugural edition of the RCWR Show Extra. It's a exclusive that you'll be able to catch here on YouTube most Fridays. We're going to try to see if we can pump it out on Fridays for the next couple of weeks consecutively, unless there's a slow week. Basically, it's a little bit of a companion piece to our podcast. You get to see me. I talk about stuff that I didn't get a chance to go more in depth about on our podcast. Check it out. It's a very well-produced show. I'm not tooting my horn or anything, but I serve as the producer of that. And, when I say that, we're taking up the production to another level is where I'm getting at. You have to watch it for yourself to see what I'm talking about, because I think most of you will probably end up enjoying that a little bit more than what we do live here for you guys on YouTube every single week. But check it out if you guys didn't get a chance. But, I was talking on there about how coming up next week, we're going to talk about the Ascension more, because we're going to put the spotlight on them and ask the question, what can be done to improve them dramatically? There's potential there, but one or two things need to kind of be tweaked with them a little bit. So I was keeping all that in mind as I was watching this match that they had against the Mega Powers tonight. And I must say, very pleased with the Ascension. This was probably, when I just think of all the matches that they've had on main WWE programming so far, this was a very smooth match. They seem to be more comfortable in the ring. That's the vibe I was kind of getting, and I like that. I really like that. I kind of got the impression that when they first came onto the roster, maybe they were a little bit nervous, and it did kind of show in the ring. They appeared to be rusty or whatnot, which is weird considering they spent several weeks down NXT, and then just 1 week, boom, they get brought up to main WWE programming. So a little bit happy I am, definitely, that they seem to be moving in the right direction. I don't want to get into what's going on with the Mega Powers right now, but let me say this, because I don't want to spend a whole boatload of time on this. I'll gladly talk about this whole thing more on the podcast, but Damian Sandow, he's more than that, and I can't help but wonder if you're the genius, Lanny Poffo. Anybody that has the opportunity to interview Lanny, please ask him his thoughts on what's going on with the WWE as far as them having Damian Sandow be Macho Sandow, and ask him the question straight up. Is that something that, if Randy was still alive, if he would be for it, or, if it's a situation where maybe he'd be against it, maybe he feels a mockery is being made out of him and his name and his likeliness and all that. And I'm curious what he would have to say with regards to that, because for me, it really does not come off paying homage. It just doesn't. It reminds me of those really, really nasty ass back and forth little segments we used to get from WCW and WWE back in the day when they were engulfed in the Monday Night War, and you had WWE. They were embracing this new generation of characters because they were trying to get away from the whole comic book feel type of good guy versus bad guy. They were getting into the whole attitude era, and I remember how they took shots at Hulk Hogan, and they took shots at Macho Man Randy Savage, basically talking about how they were old timers and all that. Matter of fact, didn't WWE call him the Nacho Man or whatever? And Lord knows what they had called the Hulkster, but it was brutal. And then WCW, they tried to counter back. They tried to counter back in their own way, making fun of Vince or whoever they decided they wanted to pick on. But yeah, when I look at Damian Sandow as Macho Sandow and I look at Axelmania, I'm just reminded of the Monday Night War. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, considering WWE, they at one point were plugging the hell out of the Monday Night War. So I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but I just feel that Sandow is more than these comic relief segments. I definitely feel that Curtis Axel is more. Is it probably getting people talking? Oh, yeah, no doubt. And just the fact that people are talking, I don't know. One could make the argument that WWE is getting the job done. Just the fact that we're talking about them, whether it be good or bad, just the fact that we're talking about them is a good thing. Love it or hate it, Sheamus had a very interesting interview with Tom Phillips, and I just couldn't help but laugh hysterically at one of the questions that was being asked. I mean, all the questions were very weak, but one question that was asked was about his hair. Why did he change it? What possessed him to change it or whatever? What does it symbolize? And Sheamus had like the most, I just couldn't help but laugh. He goes, my hair is a representation of the new Sheamus. It brings fear, and I'm kind of saying it to myself. Wait a minute. When I look at your hairdo, I don't exactly think fear. I don't think it's silly because, truth be told, long time ago when I was in high school, I used to love running around putting hair dye in my hair and all that. And the one thing I didn't get the opportunity to do that I always kept putting off was pushing a mohawk. So, because there was a little bit of I had a little bit of a punk / gothic side going on to myself back in the day. So, for me, when I see Sheamus haircut and all that, I just go, oh, he's trying to be a badass. He's trying to be a little punk. Okay, whatever. I don't exactly think fear when I look at his hairdo. I don't know. That just seemed kind of very awkward right there. Want to thank those of you that's checking us out live right now. Your host right here, Black Avenger, aka the Black Azrael, Lee Sanders. We are talking WWE Payback Fallout. Hope you're enjoying the show so far. Remember, those of you that's checking us live on YouTube, if you're having any type of stream lagging issues, it's not my fault, but you can check out our live stream on Spreaker right now. We are live, so I will put the link up, or anybody that's following us on Twitter, you're more than free to put the retweet out for it. But I'm seeing some of the interactions that's coming in right now. Shout out to Joe, who's chatting with us on Spreaker right now. We're going to open up the phone lines in just a little bit. But first, let me do this before I forget. I'm trying to put the link out there so you guys can check out the live podcast if there's any problems as far as lagging goes. Hey, how come we already have 5 dislikes? I haven't even gotten to the good stuff yet. What's going on, YouTube? Where's the love? Where is the love tonight, man? All right, let's put the link out for you guys here. Don't just hit dislike. I mean, we put review, so you know you're watching a review. At least I hope you can read English. I mean, if not, it's not my fault. But all right, let's talk about some of these matches quickly, because I definitely want to open up the phone lines before it gets too late, because we've reserved about 30 minutes for the phone lines here. All right, so off the break, we had Sheamus. We were just talking about him. He defeated Dolph Ziggler. Fantastic match. And I'm pretty much going to be saying that for like a majority of every single match. Ziggler, he actually got busted up in this match. I remember he put out some pictures after the match was over and done with. Ziggler actually ended up needing about 8 to 10 stitches from what I was able to count. So it was a very physical, straight up, just in your face. It was nasty good. To kick off the actual pay-per-view event, I thought this was a very, very solid match. And you know what the old saying is, which is, whatever that first match is, that usually sets the tone on pretty much what you can expect for the rest of the night. And that was a damn good opener right there. You can't help but wonder, what's next for Sheamus, what maybe might be next for Dolph Ziggler. Honestly, I like to see one or both of these guys go into the Elimination Chamber match for a shot at the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Just a little bit of wishful thinking right there. I don't know. They may not be able to get that far. It's like less than 2 weeks away. We'll see what happens. New Day. They put out a very good performance, as well as Tyson Kidd and Cesaro, 2 out of 3 falls match. New Day retained their tag titles. A little bit of a distraction caused by the referee. We had Xavier Woods take advantage of the Freebird rule, or at least he was trying to implement the Freebird rule, but the referee was not having it. Thus, Xavier Woods, not the legal man. But when you think about the similar hairstyles that he and Kofi Kingston have, one point the referee ended up being distracted, and we actually saw Xavier Woods come in, do the quick roll up. I forgot who it was that he did the roll up on. I want to say maybe it was Cesaro. Don't quote me on that, but definitely Xavier Woods, illegal man. And I just couldn't help but kind of scratch my head after the ref had, called for the match to be over. New Day still retained the tag titles. I couldn't help but kind of go, well, wait a minute. Where's instant replay? Any other time we might see a little bit of instant replay footage, and the referee will, or senior referee comes out and explains what happened, and then they go on ahead. But the fact that they didn't go there, no doubt they're gonna have another match. No doubt they're gonna have another match, and you know what? I'm fine for it. These guys seem to just, past several weeks, they've been locking it up. They seem to just be bringing the best out of each other. I mean, it's almost kind of getting to that point where you're just craving and hoping that Kidd and Cesaro become the tag team champions again. But I love the belts around the waist of the New Day stable. I got to give a shout out to the lovely Natalya, the outfit that she was wearing tonight. Mamma mia. I mean, very revealing yet not revealing. I know some of you guys hear that, you're like, well, which one is it? You just got to see the outfit for yourself, but definitely a serious distraction right there. My surprise match of the night that was a good hit was the Ryback versus Bray Wyatt match. I went into this, I was hyped because of the promos that we had got, but I couldn't help but say to myself, how exactly is the match going to be when we get it? Is it going to kind of be a clusterfuck, or are we actually going to get a pretty decent match? And all around, it was a very good match. Couple of parts was a little bit clunky. I must admit, a couple of botches from what I was able to see. The black referee that was in that match, by the way, man, was he very energetic. Very energetic. I mean, he was so vocal and just so, and the way he was counting the one, the two, and the threes from time to time. I mean, he was doing it with such authority. I thought at one point his freaking hand was gonna fly off the socket and land into the crowd section. Very intense black referee. I don't know if maybe Baltimore was kind of getting to him or what. But Ryback, Bray Wyatt, very solid matchup. Bray Wyatt, I'm trying to think who actually won that match. Trying to think. My mind's kind of drawing a blank a little bit. I kind of want to say, because I was a little bit distracted, I kind of want to say Bray Wyatt had picked up the W. If I'm wrong, folks, let me know, and we'll do a correction for sure before we leave the air here. Money in the Bank, that's going to be coming up in June. We saw a really funny ass commercial on that. They kind of had like it kind of seemed like they were going in a QVC home shopping network infomercial type of deal with that spot. Hopefully they'll release that on YouTube to promote it and all of that. I thought the spot for that was really freaking awesome. Rusev, John Cena, I Quit match. This was actually a very good match. I know a lot of people were probably moaning and groaning over seeing this particular match play out again. A lot of people like, Cena's going to win. What the hell? And you're right. If you had that mentality and you're like, why should I care? Cena's probably going to retain. You know, what the hell? But I think it was just the storytelling and setting up John Cena to retain the United States title is probably what had more people intrigued to watch this match. And you got to give it up to both of these guys. They definitely went in there. They represented. Contrary to how some people may have felt about this match, I actually thought this was a very good match, except one thing, and it's kind of like a big buzzkill overall for this match that really ruined it for me. Having the referee, for starters, every single freaking move that goes down, do you quit? I mean, my God, John Cena sneezes on Rusev. Do you quit? John Cena breaks wind in front of Rusev. Do you quit, Rusev? I mean, every single, I'm kind of like thinking back to the past few WWE video games that came out, and I'm just thinking about the I Quit matches that they have set up. And you gamers out there, you'll kind of see where I'm going with this, but remember how it was when you were playing an I Quit match or a submission match? I mean, it was all about, but let's really home in on the I Quit match. I mean, you just kept doing all kinds of crap to the other opponent, foreign objects, hitting them with the microphone, doing your finisher on them and all that. And basically you had to like somehow move their meter up, kind of similar to when you would do a submission match. And there would be like this gauge that would go up. And when it hit the max, you're like, you got the breaking point, the match is over because they've submitted or they've quit, And I just did not like the placement of the referee in this. I mean, every single 3 freaking seconds a move was done. Do you quit? I just really, when you think back especially to previous I Quit matches, the referee was never that freaking into it like that, interjecting every single second like that. So I had a little bit of a hard time getting into the match that way. And then the other thing that I had a serious problem with was the finish to this match. Okay, so let me see if I got this straight. So the referee basically has the power to stop the match at any time if he so desires, right? I mean, look, let's be for real. The object of winning this match is to make your opponent say, I quit. That's the whole purpose. But what happens when your opponent is in a situation where, unfortunately, they can't quit? They're out of it. They're knocked out. What happens then? What do you do? So, say, for instance, one spot during this match, Rusev has this groovy idea to send John Cena crashing through some pyro stuff or whatever. It backfires as John Cena does like, I think he did an attitude adjustment and sent Rusev crashing through the stuff. And you just see electricity, smoke, and all that just explode and all that. Lana comes running, trying to see if Rusev is okay and everything. And so normally any other time we see some type of a spot like that, the match is thrown out. And if the match would have ended right there, I would have been fine with that because it would have been okay. Well, the match was thrown out. Rusev deemed not able to continue or whatever. All right. Got a little bit of people talking. All right, fine, whatever. No, apparently Rusev, he didn't quit. And you just had to feel for Rusev. I mean, you actually felt for him because he was making such priceless facial expressions throughout this match. I mean, one moment he looked as if he found out his dog Fido had died, and he just looked like he was about to bust out in tears over it. Uh, I mean, he made some really classic facial expressions to the point. I'm hoping that there's some memes floating around right now because he gave us some really good ones right there. But you continue on with the match, and of all the ways for the match to end, it freaking ends with Rusev doing his little camel clutch submission hold. John Cena's knocked out. He's not able to come to. Rusev thinks he won, but no, Cena didn't quit. So he basically goes over to one corner of the ring and basically loosens it up because he wants to get the rope from the ring and use it to try to choke out John Cena. But first, he wants to hit him over the head with the foreign object that pretty much holds that ring rope together. Cena counters. If I'm not mistaken, Cena countered it into like a STFU. We saw Cena grab part of the rope, and the rope is like over Rusev's eyes, and it's like in between his nose. And I mean, it's not really locked in. And Lana goes, he quits, and Cena wins. He retains the title that way. And you're kind of like, well, wait a minute now. What the hell? Okay, so never mind the fact that the rope was just around my man's eyes, and never mind that, which I thought was really lame as hell. I put the tweet out to apply more pressure, put the rope around the neck, squeeze as follows, and then that should get you I quit. But we didn't get that, and I didn't know I quit matches have now become he quits matches, because WWE, if we're going to operate like this now, and I understand what you all were trying to do, the whole mission, the whole goal was to basically try to put Lana over and put her in the type of light where Rusev kind of feels like Lana is hindering him a bit. I get that. I'm all fine for that. Personally, I think that those two make a great 1-2 power couple. I think they need to remain together because I think it's going to be even more of a challenge for Rusev, going forward in the near future. If he is to be broken away from Lana, can he really survive on his own? Because she, for the most part, has really been doing a good job in helping him, and especially as far as the character development goes, I personally feel. But you do this lame ass he quits. I'm sorry, WWE. I just, for me, that ruined the match. Whatever buzz I had over that match, it just got killed. Because if Lana can just interject and say, "Oh well, he quits. He quit." Well, shit. The hot dog man should be able to say he quits. He quits. Little 5-year-old Timmy that's sitting next to his mom and dad waiting for John Cena to come out. You can see me. He should be able to say, he quit. He quit. I just, I had a hard time processing that match, right? Great match, but when you just look at those two little, it's very irritating, very irritating. Bella Twins lost to Naomi and Tamina. Really, really loving the pairing of Naomi and Tamina, man. I said this last week. I got to say it again. I think Nikki Bella's reign as Divas champion is about to be up, and I think it's about damn time. Don't get me wrong. She's done a decent job, but I think Naomi, I think it's her time to shine. She's been stepping up. I've really been pleased with her work the past couple of weeks, and her paired up with Tamina. The timing of this is just so awesome, especially for who was out because of an injury. I think she had got some surgery done and all that. So, it's kind of nice for her to be paired up with Naomi right now. And, at least this way she can kind of any other rust that she may have, she could continue to, get it worked off or whatever. But very pleased to see Tamina back. Right before she went out on injury, it was really looking as though she was possibly going to be the next Divas champion. So you can't help but wonder going forward is maybe WWE down the road, maybe they're going to try to have Tamina and Naomi go at it for the Divas title. Makes you wonder right there. We got a new series that's going to be coming out in June. Looks like the producers of Jackass or whatever, looks like they're going to be hooking up with WWE, basically doing a WWE version of Jackass. It's called Swerved. I'm with some of you guys already. It's like, okay, is this really legit or is it staged? Is everybody in on it and they're just I don't know. Adrian Neville, he defeated Wade Barrett via countout. Barrett really didn't want any more of Neville towards the end of the match. There was a post-match beatdown. We actually saw Neville do his finisher post-match, the red arrow. I was a little bit concerned about the placement of that. I get that this is the man that gravity forgot, but my whole thing is, and look, you could tell me till you're blue in the face, but Lee, he's been doing this for years. His red arrow move. You could tell me that. He's been doing that for years. That's fine. But, for me, that move is so badass. That move is so special to the point that, if he hits you with that move, 9 times out of 10, I'll maybe say 8 out of 10. Let's go with that. 8 out of 10, the match is probably over. And for me, I really would have wished that they wouldn't have had that move go in there post-match, because it's like, okay, if Neville isn't going to do it during the match, why should he do it post-match? Now, some may say, but Lee, the fans got to get their money's worth, especially those that came to see him. On the contrary, even more the reason why I think post-match that move should not have happened, for the simple fact that it's a dangerous move as it is. And then plus, you kind of would have had something to build off of, because Barrett knows what this young guy is capable of. And rather than try to take him on head on like a man, I'm reminded of the Metallica song, King Nothing, great lyrics. He cowers away at him and then tries to jump people from behind. And so we see the type of heel that Wade Barrett is operating as, which is awesome. But as that Motorhead song goes, the chase is better than the catch. And I just wish that this would have been the necessary jump start, because what I'm getting right now, there's going to be a continued program with Neville and Barrett, but I wish that the jump start to this would have been Barrett dodges the red arrow, Neville comes out the very next week, maybe in an exclusive WWE Network interview or whatever. And, maybe he talks for like about 2 minutes. I know some of you guys are like, Lee, Neville's not talking. What's going on? Does he need to talk? He's got a very thick accent. Let's make no mistake about it. Less he says, the better. Okay. Honestly, if they could have did like a 2-3 minute thing, make it be exclusive on the app, network, whatever WWE wants to call it. Basically have him say, Barrett, you escaped my red arrow. I promise you, you and me, we ain't done by a long shot. You're going to feel my red arrow. When I get it on you, it's lights out for you. And then that way it kind of gets the fans, kind of built up, I'm kind of reminded of a recent feud a couple of years back. Jinder Mahal. I wanted to say something else, but it was very explicit. Tinder, my balls. Yeah, there I said it. But no, Jinder Mahal. I'm reminded of a program he had with Ryback when Ryback was first starting off. And I remember there was a series of weeks where Jinder was successfully able to dodge shell shock, Ryback's finisher. And it just kept going on like that. It was like a SmackDown thing that was happening every single week. These guys were just kind of going at it, and Jinder was dodging shell shock. Eventually, they locked up. I don't think it was a pay-per-view match that they did. If it was, it might have been a pre-show thing, but I'm pretty sure their program ended on SmackDown after a couple of weeks. But, I kind of wish WWE Creative would kind of take a page out of that book and apply it here to Barrett and Neville. What do you guys think? Should they dish out Red Arrow like candy and have them do it post-match and all that, even though the match is over? That way it can feel a little bit more special as far as knowing when he hits that move, it's lights out for the opponent. You're fine with it. Sound off. Very curious what you guys have to say with regards to that. One more match we need to talk about, and that is, and I want to talk about this quickly because I want to open up the phone lines. As a matter of fact, let's open up the phone lines right now. We got about 10 minutes of time here. Let me just connect right now. Bear with me here, guys. Let me type in. I'm going to try to log in here. And oh, no. Oops. Well, I forgot to do that. Well, that sucked. Well, wait a minute. Let's see. Nope, we can't do that either. Okay, so it doesn't look like we're going to be able to open up the phone line because it looks like there has been a change in the features. Those of you that remember our show from Blog Talk, we used to use the call-in feature over there, but it looks like they've switched it up. At one point, we were able to access the phone line, dialing it and all that through Skype or another method, but it looks like they're now saying that's like part of premium feature or whatever. So no phone lines this go round, guys. Sorry about that, which sucks. I'm going to try to see between now and then if we can, I don't know, maybe we can bring in a new phone line or something that we can have everybody call into. I'm going to try to look and see if we can, because I like that feature. I think that's a really cool feature. But in the meantime, bring your interactions, keep it coming, hit us up on Twitter. If you're watching us on YouTube, keep those comments, post them down below, and we'll definitely get to you guys in just a little bit. All right, so we got one more match to talk about, which was the Fatal 4-Way for the WWE Championship. Seth Rollins defending the title against Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, Randy Orton. Of course, the $1 million question, where is Kane's alliance? Is he going to help Seth Rollins, or is he going to hurt Seth Rollins and cost him the WWE Championship? How about the freaking pop that Dean Ambrose had received tonight from B-More? I mean, my God. And then just the way that the crowd was reacting to Roman Reigns. I mean, my God. I mean, you'd have swore that Dean Ambrose was like CM Punk tonight in Baltimore. I mean, that was just, I was surprised by that reaction. I gotta be honest with you. I gotta be honest. I was like, wow. I was really surprised by that. Really surprised by that. Because I thought for sure Roman Reigns was going to be super over and be more, but a majority of the crowd out there, they did not like him. A little bit bummed out I didn't go to this event because it's like about, I would say maybe an hour drive. I so did not know they were coming to Baltimore. If I would have been paying attention a little bit more, I probably would have tried to go to the event, and who knows, maybe we would have done an on location live show for you guys. But it was an awesome match. It was a nice little spot there. I remember where we saw Seth Rollins. He tried to do the fist pump like the Shield was going to reunite. And Dean and Roman Reigns, they were not having it. I like that. I thought that was a really nice, sweet spot, as it was pretty much every man for himself. Uh, that's actually a very, it was actually a very good match. I'd like to tell you guys that I was really paying attention to it, but I had to do a lot of multitasking getting ready for the show. But from I would say out of 100%, I saw about maybe 90% of the match, so that's not too bad. Seth Rollins, still your WWE World Heavyweight Champion. The way he won was hilarious. He basically hit Randy Orton, if I'm not mistaken, with the pedigree. Yes, he actually hit him with Triple H's own move to retain the title, and you're like, what the hell? Uh, yeah, I guess that curb stop, man. I guess it's not coming back anytime soon. A lot of people are concerned about the concussions and all that other stuff. So I don't know. I guess it's not coming back anytime soon. So we think. I don't know, but makes you wonder what's next. Honestly, I think a majority of those guys that we saw in the ring, they are probably in some shape or form going to be involved in the Elimination Chamber match. Honestly, I would like to see more fresh faces in there. Like if I could pick the opponents for Elimination Chamber, I would like to have Randy Orton, Roman Reigns, Sheamus, Dolph Ziggler. Who's another one we can put in there? Hmm. I got to look at the card a little bit more to really pick out the names, because part of me doesn't want to continue to see a Shield reunion. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, if you really, really think about it, and let's be brutally honest, we had a great Elimination Chamber main event, but when you really think about who the Shield members have been feuding with pretty much since they broke up, one can kind of make the argument that they all have always been intertwined with one another. There really hasn't been a extended period of time where everybody's in their respective corners and they're doing their own thing. I mean, if you were to point out one person and go, well, what about this person? He was kind of doing his own thing for a little bit. Maybe, just maybe, you can kind of give that to Dean Ambrose. But, I think the real key as far as a successful title run for Seth Rollins is going to be what happens past Roman Reigns, what happens past Dean Ambrose. What happens past Randy Orton? I've already heard a couple of moans and groans about Seth Rollins and Randy Orton locking it up. So it's like, what happens when you go past those three? What are you going to feed Kane to Seth Rollins? Is the payoff maybe at SummerSlam going to be Seth Rollins, Triple H? Because I mean, you kind of got something there if you want to go there between Seth and Triple H. The spoiled little brat turning on his dad. You got something there, right? Setup, right storyline. You definitely have something there. So I think that's really going to be the main question. And it's so funny we're talking about Seth Rollins. I wasn't going to talk about this until Tuesday night. I'll say this. I'll put the question out there to you, and then we'll tackle it more Tuesday night. But I came across this convention that's going to be happening later this month. It's called Awesome Con. And I can't remember where it's going to be taking place, but it's going to be in DC. William Shatner's going to be there. The original Red Power Ranger from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, he's going to be there. Some guy from Lord of the Rings is going to be there. And Natalya is going to be there. Seth Rollins is going to be there. So when you look at the VIP packages, you see that there's like a $220 VIP package for both Seth Rollins and Natalya. Now, the VIP package, it has what you would expect. You get to jump the line, and you get to do a photo op. with those guys. If there's something that you want for them to sign, like, here, sign my shoe or sign my jeans, something custom sign, you can do that. You could bring it, everything you would expect. But then the question has to be asked, and I put this out there to you all to marinate for a few ticks. Would you pay $211 for the experience and getting to meet the WWE champion Seth Rollins? Would you pay that same amount for Natalya? I love Natalya. We follow each other on Twitter and all that. I love Natalya, but that's a lot of money to be putting out there. Now, Natalya, I could probably do it because she is linked to the Hart family. Part of me is kind of like, and she just seems totally freaking cool. Part of me says, yeah, I would probably, if I could spare it, yeah, I'd probably do it just to go see Natalya. But paying that amount for Seth Rollins, I don't know. And that's the problem right there in itself. I fear that this whole experiment with Seth Rollins being WWE champion, I think when it counts the most, I like him. Great in-ring technician, great in-ring ability. But as far as pulling in those dollar bills, those fettuccinis, I think there in itself might lie the problem in WWE. You got to give them all the credit in the world. They're trying to do everything they can to prepare for a future without a John Cena. They're trying to build on the next top guys that can, run the ball with the company for the next 10 years, 15 years to come. But I dare say, I think the Seth Rollins experiment, I don't really think it's going that well. But I pose that question to you all. Would you pay $200 and something for a VIP package with Seth Rollins if you had the money? Honestly, a lot of people I've been talking to so far, they're like, he's not a household name. He's not a Stone Cold Steve Austin. He's not a Triple H. He's not a Shawn Michaels. He's not an Undertaker. Frick, he's not a CM Punk. That says a lot. That says a lot. And it was coming from that are diehard WWE, continue to watch the product to this very day. So it's not like, oh, these guys that you're talking about, they're still stuck in the Attitude Era. No, these are guys that have been watching the product since as far back as the 70s that are saying they would not pay X amount for, like I said a couple of months back, I said, and I'm still sticking to it. I believe in my heart of hearts, before 2015 is out, Roman Reigns will be your WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Love it or hate it. That belt is coming to him, and honestly, it's going to come off of Seth Rollins. I think that's how it's going to play out. Long as you have Roman Reigns just at an arm's reach of Seth Rollins, just continuing to chase after him, I think that's where the pay dirt is. Picture, if you will, Seth Rollins as today's Harley Race, and picture Roman Reigns as, I don't know. I don't really want to say Ric Flair, but maybe picture him as, what's a good name? Give me a good name, somebody. Harley Race is good. Harley Race is a good one for Seth Rollins. I guess Roman Reigns would be your, it's a good one. Who can we compare Roman Reigns to if we're doing throwback? Interesting. Let's get to you guys' comments on that note. Maybe some of you guys can give me a good suggestion on that one. All right. My favorite part of the show. Let's see what we got here. Eagles fanboy, how you doing? I don't like the fact that Rollins uses the pedigree. They need to give him his own thing. That's just my opinion, so don't attack me for saying that. See, Miguel marked out when we got the Shield back just for a couple of seconds. It was awesome. Yeah, that definitely was a really good spot right there. And loading up some more comments here. Can't tell you, you're not the only one, man. I missed the curb stomp. They need to bring it back. I think we all can be in agreement. That curb stomp, that is really what had made people identify with Seth Rollins. That was a hell of a spot that he was doing there. Alexis, Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston doing twin magic. I'm like, that's racist. Hey, come on. They got the same similar hairstyle. You ever thought it was about the hairstyle? Not necessarily the color. I mean, what could make the argument that I mean, who am I kidding? Yeah, it is a black thing, and but no, seriously. I mean, come on. They had similar hairstyles and they had the same attire. This was a smart move right there. Little twin magic from the Bella twins. They used to do it all the time. Thoughts on the Intercontinental Tag Team Championship Elimination Chamber match announcements? Am I supposed to? I don't know. I'm not being a dick, but you asked me that question, Dawn, and I don't know. that's like saying, all right, so the championship is going to be defended at Elimination Chamber. What's your thoughts on that? It's like, great. That's how I feel right now. Let's see here. James, wow, that pay-per-view was barely better than an episode of Raw. This company needs to pull its head out of let's stop right there, James. Let's stop right there. Normally I am on all the wrestling promotions that we cover. When they're getting it right, I give them praise. When they're getting it wrong, I'm on that ass. And I got to be brutally honest. I thought with what they did at this paperback for this calendar year, just thinking about all the weeks of WWE programming we've been getting thus far, the pay-per-views we've been getting thus far, scale of 1 to 10, I give them a respected 7.5 max. For the pay-per-view that they did tonight. It was a decent pay-per-view. I mean, the majority of the matches entertained, kept you into it. I mentioned, a couple of botches in the areas where I thought it wasn't, as good, where it was a little bit so-so, but honestly, the event was good. I think what we really need to be more focused on is these 3-hour Raw shows. These 3 hours could be good. It could be better if they put more emphasis into better storytelling, in-ring action. I mean, those are the main two, that's really, really hurting the product right now. I feel. I know some people are like 3 hours is too much. On the contrary, I think 3 hours is on a Monday night. I think 3 hours, there should be no reason why a wrestling fan should walk away feeling as though they didn't get their true values worth. There should be no reason for a wrestling fan to feel as though it's a mandatory duty to watch 3 hours of Monday Night Raw when they can be watching the NBA Finals, or they could be watching the Grammys, or et cetera, et cetera. Fans should be able to tune into WWE Raw knowing that they're going to get the best 3 hours that's out there on TV and not feel like their time is being wasted. I think that in itself, in those areas I mentioned, that's what WWE really needs to work on. SmackDown, there's been a lot of times where SmackDown has been better than Raw. And I usually check out SmackDown. And that's just how I feel with regards to that. I mean, we already know about NXT and all that, so we don't need to go there, but interesting stuff right there. Austin, the pay-per-view was entertaining. I enjoyed it from start to finish. Every match had my interest. And Lee, what do you think Roman Reigns? When do I think Roman Reigns will become WWE champion? Good question. I said before the end of 2015. I'll tell you what, I'll sleep on that comment and I will follow up on that this Tuesday night on our podcast. You have my word on that one. See some more comments we got in here. Joe, why aren't the WWE putting the title on Roman Reigns? This kind of goes back to the chase is better than the catch. A little bit too soon right now. Yeah, got to do that build up, man. You got to do that build up. Got to build up to that great climax. You know what I'm saying? Trust me, it's worth it. It's worth it, man. It's worth it. Right. And other than that, I'm gonna try to refresh one more time. But as I'm refreshing you guys' comments, I want to thank those of you that had entered our book contest for Daniel Bryan. It's a lot of y'all had entered our contests, and yeah, I must admit I was a little bit surprised because I wish that more people would have entered because this was really anybody's game. And you know, when we do these contests for you guys, you know, I don't know these people that entered the contest. I may recognize their name because they've commented on our stuff from time to time, but I don't personally know them. And so, like, I say that because when we do these contests for you guys, it isn't a situation where we asked a friend for a favor and, basically we do the contest and they win and it's basically an in-house thing. So the contest never really happened to begin with. You have some people that are out there that actually will operate like that. And that's just, unfortunately, very unprofessional. It's an abuse of trust, and when you abuse that level of trust, it's kind of hard to, win those fans over again. But I can't stress it enough when we do contests for you guys. And I tell you all to enter. I mean, even if you feel as though it doesn't apply to you, I mean, it doesn't make sense to me that if 1, 2, 5, 10 people that are into the same type of stuff as you should tell them, hey, check out this show. They're doing this cool contest. You might want to enter. You got nothing to lose, but, a lot to gain. And wasn't that many people that entered this contest. So this was literally a case right here where I just had to go, well, let's just, randomly pick somebody for the book contest. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select 2 winners. The first one will receive the advanced copy. I'm going to try to mail it out this week. I will definitely be able to mail it out this week because I'm actually going to be enjoying some R&R coming up in a couple of days. Well-deserved at that. And then we'll send out the second book. The official street release is how we'll pick it. And the person that will get the book on the street release date, we're not going to reveal your name right now. We're just going to randomly pick somebody. We're going to surprise somebody. That's how we're going to do it. As a matter of fact, I was strongly advised by the missus. That's how we need to do it. But as far as who won the book contest for Daniel Bryan, we got to give it up to Tim Lucas. Tim Lucas from, I don't even know your city and state, Lucas. So I'm going to have to hit you up with that, man. But Tim Lucas, he is our winner. And so fitting, too, because he's been a long time RCWR show fan. I remember he's entered previous contests, and he's never won anything. So, Tim, congrats. We'll be reaching out to you in the next couple of days to make sure we have all of your information. All right. And like I said, we will be giving away another book on the street release date as it gets a little bit closer. So those of you that had entered, please continue to check your email address because you never know if we might hit you up. All right. So I see we got a lot of people that showed up for our stream tonight. I appreciate you guys doing that. Please do me a favor before we end this. Make sure you give this a thumbs up. When you do, you're showing your love and appreciation for us YouTube video creators. And quick programming note, we will be back on YouTube Live Monday night, 11:15 p.m. Eastern, to cover WWE Raw Fallout, Aftermath of Payback. And then don't forget, Tuesday night, exclusively on Spreaker.com, 10 p.m. Eastern, we will have our great sit-down conversation with former WWE superstar JTG of Crime Time. It was an honor to talk with him. A lot of stuff that we covered. Meantime, if you want to check out some other cool goodies, we just uploaded our Larry Zbyszko interview. It's now available on our YouTube channel, so make sure that you show that some love and keep the comments, conversation going. Hit us up on Twitter, the RCWR Show, Facebook, Infinity One Productions. Check out our podcast. We're on various platforms. All the links you need is in the episode description. Until next go round, please be safe, and most importantly, be kind to one another. Everybody, do take care.